So as Rob said, today we're going to look at endometriosis, and we're going to look at it from a nutrition perspective. So what we can do to help support the condition. So Rob's already done a nice introduction for me. I'm a registered nutritionist and nutritional therapist, which means I can work with groups or one-on-one with people for personalized approach. And I myself was diagnosed with endometriosis in my early 20s, so about 20 years ago now. It was stage 4, so it was pretty aggressive. And it had caused a lot of damage by the time it was diagnosed. So it was on my bladder, womb, ovaries, fallopian tubes, and bowel. So basically everything from my belly button down had cysts and lesions all over it. And my medical team did an amazing job, helping to resolve all of that. And then I was put on hormone medication to manage the condition ongoing. And whilst it did keep things at bay, my quality of life was really poor. So I was fatigued a lot of the time, had a lot of pain, and kind of had to spend a lot of the time on the sofa recovering. And then about 10 years ago, I had a year where two sort of important things happened with my endometriosis. One was a psychological thing where we had a life coach at work, and he got me to visualize my endometriosis, and he asked me if I could forgive it. And at the time, I burst into tears and said no. It had taken everything from me. At the time, I was trying to conceive. Just check the chat. Okay. Um, and yeah, so I was really angry with it. And basically, this life coach said to me, by hating your endometriosis, you're hating part of yourself. And if you continue doing that, you're just going to be full of resentment and anger. So it kind of, that changed my perspective to start thinking, okay, well, maybe I need to start accepting this as part of who I am and trying to work with it rather than kind of hating it and resenting it. So I was already in the mind space of kind of maybe I need to kind of have a look at my health and kind of do what I can do to support it. And then the second thing was to do with nutrition. So unrelated, I did a diet challenge for 6 weeks, changed what I was eating. And about 2 weeks into that, I had a massive change in my endometriosis symptoms. So at the time, I had had endometriosis regrow, and I was waiting for an operation. So I was quite poorly, but I came off my painkillers, I got all my energy back, and I felt a lot better. So what we're going to go through today, we're going to look quickly at what endometriosis is and how it affects the body, what research there is in terms of nutrition and endometriosis, what we're trying to, or I'm trying to achieve with nutrition in the body with my recommendations, practical things that I'm asking my clients to do, and then briefly looking at functional medicine perspective as well, which is something that I work with my clients on too. And at the end, we'll have some time for questions as well. So what is endometriosis? It's a condition where cells, the endometrial cells that normally line your womb, are found elsewhere in the body. Looking at individualized food triggers and identifying those based on the different clients. Looking at supporting the overall gut health for a number of reasons. And then reducing their toxic load. So there's a lot of sort of pressure on the body. So helping the liver and the digestive system to be able to function as well as possible. And so the first thing is to encourage women to eat fat. It is an essential nutrient. It's a structural part of our cells. So I see clients saying, I'm craving snacks all the time. I want a snack every hour. I'm craving sweet things like biscuits and cakes and sweets. And this is something which is happening. And so why is that important for endometriosis? Well, when your body needs to react with these high levels of insulin, that can influence the levels of estrogen within the body. So high levels of insulin can increase the production of estrogen. 3 groups really. So kind of whole grains, so your brown bread, rice, pasta, whole grain flours. And then your kind of legumes and seeds and nuts as well. But yeah, so peas, beans and lentils, and then fruits and vegetables. So focusing as much, getting as many of those into your meals as. So now moving on to some therapeutic foods. So phytoestrogens have been found to be inversely related to endometriosis risk and severity, and also been shown to help suppress inflammation and the growth of endometriosis lesions. And then drinks. So looking at fluid intake, it can be a very simple one, but one that's missed. So making sure that my clients are taking in their 2 litres of fluid a day as kind of their base level, primarily through water, decaf teas, herbal teas. And there was a study that showed even just increasing from 1.5 litres to 2 litres helped women with menstrual cramp pain. So lots of things that kind of, I guess, then at kind of another level, what could be driving those root causes of ill health, and then addressing those over time and supporting clients.
Many thanks. Are there any particular foods that you would definitely eat or avoid during your period? It says the period. I assume she means when you're having your period.
Yeah, I guess it's difficult because I think that can be a time where actually when you're feeling quite low is kind of the time where people can automatically go for the comfort foods and the things which can be inflammatory.
Thank you everyone for joining and sparing us some of your time this evening. I hope you've enjoyed it. I found it very interesting. Also, I'd just like to plug the Institute of Classical Osteopathy again. If you'd like any further information about classical osteopathy, please go to our website, which is www.classical-osteopathy.org. And thank you very much this evening, and we'll see you all next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.